So will black and brown people finally see something getting done? Brandy B. Williams is the director of organizing for the Hip Hop Caucus. I got it right. She joins us now. Brandy, how do you explain the importance of voting rights legislation to this younger generation, the hip hop generation?
What I tell them is that we have a representative democracy. And so, what that means is the people that are in office work for you. You get to choose who represents you. And so, what's so significant about voting rights legislation is that if you don't have the opportunity to actually cast your vote, you can't choose who's going to represent you on major issues that are important to you.
Brandy, is it now a myth that younger people are not taking part in the democratic process? I mean, after Black Lives Matter, we saw millions of young people take to the streets, black, brown, Asian, and otherwise. Are they now getting the message that your vote is your voice and it is important to make sure that your voice is heard?
I absolutely think they are. So we just finished doing some voter engagement in Virginia, in preparing for yesterday's election, and we saw a lot of young people coming out, engaging, having honest conversation about what they needed and what they wanted. I definitely think that they're getting the message. I think that we're seeing a resurgence of the civil rights movement, and the youth are leading this movement just as in the past.
But as we just mentioned, time to vote number 4 in the Senate on the John Lewis voting rights bill. How do you address the frustration of the legislative process? Because it ain't pretty watching the sausage being made, and a lot of young people get turned off by the process.
I would agree, they do, but I think we all get turned off by the process, and that's why it's so critical that we are engaged. I actually had a long conversation with several people yesterday regarding why it's so important to stay vigilant and stay engaged throughout the process. So, even though this is not a presidential election year, we should always be thinking about what's happening, what's the strategy, what are the issues on the table, and also considering are the right people being placed in the position to be candidates for office. So it may be that we don't have the right people in office, and we need to be thinking about that during this time. Best represents hip hop? Who represents our black and brown communities? And if they aren't the ones showing up to be candidates for office, then we need to find those people and push them forward.
So, what makes a hip hop voter different than your average African American voter?
So I would say that there's a level of accountability that you find in hip hop. So from the very beginning, hip hop has been about honesty, transparency, and you find that when you're looking to people who are engaged in the hip hop culture, they really want answers. They don't want you to sugarcoat things. They want to know the nitty gritty. So don't give me political talk. Talk to me in human form. So speak human to me. So I think those are three things that really set hip hop apart. One, being able to speak in human language, don't use political language, being honest and transparent in what you're doing and how you're moving.
How do we be honest with regards to our language without also being offensive with regards to our language? One of the things that you can honestly say about the hip hop movement, it is raw. It is the voice of the people on the street from the time when I was actually out there working as an investigative reporter covering things like crime and violence and crack, etc. But how do you manage to get that rawness to come across without just being offensive to people that are older than the hip hop community?
I think you still have to be aware of your audience, but you also need to be more targeted, right? So you need to be able to show up. On November 8th, we'll be launching our 2022 midterm, and a portion of that summit is a virtual summit that will stream live on respectmyvote.com. One of the people that talked about it said is you have not seen the candidates for office in your neighborhood buying a honey bun or a juicy juice, then you need to think about that. And so I think these candidates need to think about how close they're getting to the people that they're actually going to serve. And so when you start doing that, you can start having honest conversations in the language of the people in the community.
Before I let you go, that virtual summit coming up next week, what do you want to accomplish?
we want people to know what's at stake in 2022. We need them to know that, number one, hip hop has the power. Our culture drives this nation. We built this country, and we need to make sure that they understand and respect that. So it's Respect Our Vote. All Politics is Local Virtual Summit, Monday, November 8th, 7 p.m.
We will be watching. You are our friend here on the broadcast. Brandy B. Williams is the Director of Organizing for the Hip Hop Caucus. Brandy, thanks for being with us.